Hey, MCarb brother, I'm Chris Nelson, President of MCarbo. Really excited to be talking about the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 once again. We've done so much stuff for this over the years. Really excited about a couple other little facelifts we've got planned for the Sub for a few different items. Can't really tell you yet, but I can tell you about the new Kel-Tec Sub 2000 integrated toolless locking pin. All right, so this is something you guys have requested. I am so happy that you guys voiced your opinion, and we had, a ton of people saying the same thing. And I knew it wasn't rehearsed, all right, because it was all, people with different frustrations with the charging handles we were offering that came with the pin that you had to drop down the bolt. And I myself, taking a few subs apart that we have around here, and I'm like, man, who is that idiot that designed this? I'm like, oh, shoot. We solved the initial problem, which was to make something stronger than the factory charging handles that were breaking, but we definitely at that point, years ago, didn't have quite as much emphasis on making it as frustration-free and as simple to install, user-friendly. So that's certainly a focus that we have now, and it's pretty cool. You guys really helped shape us as a company, which is great. And we are creating stuff that makes more sense, and this is why we have the MCarbo Brotherhood to give us that great feedback, work together to make our firearms better. It's a win-win all the way around. So the integrated toolless locking pin will fix to the factory recoil spring. And I'm going to show you how to do that, and you'll be able to just drop in your recoil spring and get to locate in the MCarbo aftermarket charging handles, which are stronger, give you some more versatility and different options, recoilless, double finger, skeletonized. So excited to finally have this. So going forward, every charging handle you get from us will come with this. All right, so we discontinued the other version where you had to drop it down. You get lucky and it locates by itself, but never would, and then you had to use a screwdriver and turn it. No more. So thank you, MCarbo Brotherhood, for making us do this. I'm excited. I mean, I put one in my sub. This is mine. I put one in my sub like right away when it came in. And I actually took the other one, I just threw it away. It was so clear. I was like, man, yeah, why didn't we do this from the get-go? So thankfully we have it now. No more of that annoying pin trying to get it in there, and it wasn't the best, but it did work, but we've got a better solution now, so excited about it. All charging handles that you get from us going forward will come with this new integrated toolless locking pin, and the M series, of course, will come with this, but that's from now going forward. So if you bought one, 20 minutes before this video, I don't know, it may not be. It's hard to say. Now going forward, all charging handles, M series, but we're working with everybody. So we're doing an initial release on these pins as well. I know there's a ton of guys that have the old style pin that you have to drop in and hopefully kind of sort of get it in after 20 or 30 minutes of fidgeting with it. So we're gonna cut you guys a break on it, do some kind of promotion. You'll hear about it with this video. So excited, and I highly recommend wearing iPro. You're gonna get into this and you're gonna see, I always say wear iPro, but when I say highly recommend wearing iPro, that's a little pro tip there that, yeah, I'm wearing it. For real. And come on, let's face it, there's far worse things than just wearing iPro. You can be forced to wear iPro and a PT belt when you're downrange. Let's get on our tabletop, show you how to put this baby in. Parts needed for this build, the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 stainless steel integrated toolless locking pin by MCarbo. It also includes this 1.27 millimeter Allen key, which really does help on the installation process. Show you that here in a couple seconds. Tools needed for this build, little micro tip flathead screwdriver, or really anything. You could use your 3/32 inch punch or even your 1/16 inch punch. It might bend a little bit, but something small that you'll be able to kind of rotate that guide rod around, that wire guide rod in the center of the factory recoil spring. The bench block, and of course iPro. Highly recommend it with what we're about to do here. I definitely say highly recommended when we really need it. So what I'm gonna do with this bench block, and you could do this with a block of wood. I'm just gonna take a 3/8 drill bit and I'm gonna widen up this little 1/4 inch hole on the bench block that we sell. They're plastic, they're easy to, customize. John Browning himself made his own custom tools. So before I knew that, I recently been doing a lot of reading on him, and I always thought it was kind of jankety for us to be modifying stuff. But now that I know that, it's like wide open. Fully customizing all the tools I can, because the stuff we're doing, it's pretty intricate and it's pretty precise, so we have to make sure that we've got tools that fit those needs. So in this case, I'm going to make my life a lot easier. I'm going to modify this, but if you don't want to modify it, just find a 1-inch block of wood or something and then just put a 3/8 hole in it. So I'm just going to do that real quick, and you'll see if you've got one of these how simple they are to modify. And that's it. After I clean up this mess, come right back and get right into it. All right, so now they've got the bench block mess all cleaned up, our tools are ready. Let's go ahead and open up this Kel-Tec Sub 2000 stainless steel integrated toolless locking pin. Take a look at it. You can obviously save the bag for the sake of time here. Everybody get tired of watching me open up bags with the little staple puller. All right, man, so 416 stainless steel, really love what we've got going on here. So, you know, it's the same pin style. We did elongate this a little bit more, so to give you a little more engagement when it's going inside. The charging handle, now this isn't some sort of proprietary BS that we're offering. I hate proprietary BS, but the initial intent, so let me take you back 4 years here. We've been working on the sub that long, which is hard to believe, but 4 years ago, we started out with the first charging handle we ever did for the Kel-Tec Sub 2000, double finger charging handle. We started out with basically the double finger design you see here, and then we just used the OEM internal lockup feature, and we made it out of A311 stress-proof carbon steel, you know, much more premium material. So we were under the impression, all right, you know, make it longer, better material, good to go. Come to find out, guys are breaking these factory charging handles as well. You know, we had already made these, but we did assume, we did hope, you know, and doing some testing of our own that would be enough. Sure enough, not. Kono, he's the moderator over at the MCarbo forum, forum.mcarbo.com, great guy. He's also one of our official sponsorees, and he's shooting in a lot of competitions, and he was getting started in some of that competing back then, I believe, or he just loves to shoot, period. I know he was shooting something crazy. I want to say it was like 5,000 rounds a week or something just nuts. And he was breaking them left and right. And, you know, we just kept sending him new ones and didn't believe it at first. But, you know, lo and behold, came another rev change. So definitely says something about our warranty. You know, we're always sticking behind it, man. You know, and it's a much appreciated thing, you guys working with us. You know, it's always a nice relationship to have. You know, we're all enthusiasts, so we enjoy shooting and it's a lot of fun. So we worked through this issue, and that kind of brings us to where we are today, you know, with this thicker shaft. I mean, you've got one solid piece of material here with a little tiny recess so that we can hold the recoil spring in place on the charging handle, because that was the intent that Kel-Tec had here. The issue is you can see how they've got it basically necked down real thin in the center here. And that's where the recoil spring will rest and locate on the charging handle. So you've got all that energy, impact, momentum from the bolt moving back and forth, and it's pressing against this little section right here. So this top portion, bottom portion, they're captured inside the bolt. And then you've got this little thin portion that's taking all the impact. So naturally, it wants to break right here on these two little neck down areas. So that's what we're seeing all the time, all the pictures. So the Kel-Tec ones are breaking, ours are breaking with this design. So, you know, we had to beef up the design, and that's what we did here. And that's where we are today with the locking pin. I wanted to get that out of the way because I knew there'd be a guy that just rolls in like, what is this proprietary BS, MCarbo? Why are you making crap for parts that you know, it's just, come on, man, get with it. There's 4 years of history. So the way this new integrated toolless locking pin works, as opposed to what we had previously, after we had solved the braking issue that was inherent with the OEM internal lockup feature design, we had a pin that was like this circular disc with this little protrusion right here that would locate right in that pocket. Now the problem with that design was that you had to use a screwdriver or something like that to help you align this pin. So now we've got an integrated toolless locking pin. So it'll be affixed to the recoil springs. All you have to do is drop your spring in and just locate that little pin in there. You know, we've extended this actual tab here so it's longer than the other one, and we've got a nice little 45-degree taper on there. So a little bit more generous taper to allow you easier installation, which was the goal. So finally corrected this issue, really excited about it, and you guys obviously voted for it. So we finally got back to it, and we've got something that works, and you guys helped us get to this direction. So thank you very much. So let's quit yakking. Let's get into how this goes together. And I try to come up with a very simple, straightforward process, and I think a lot of guys will be successful with it. If you, older guy, maybe got arthritis, this might be a little bit difficult. You know, we'll install these here. You could always just mail us your recoil spring. We'll have to figure out a price. I have no idea. We'll just see what's fair. You know, obviously we wouldn't charge a full shop rate hour for that. So we'll figure out something that makes sense. We just don't want to, you know, get bogged down with doing everybody. So I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised how easy it is to get this pin on your recoil spring. Let's get into it. All right, so let's get started. You guys know the drill. Let's go ahead and check our firearms together, make sure they're clear, check the chamber, check the bolt face, check the magazine well. This firearm's clear. You know, something unique with the sub is that we can quickly check it when it's folded. So I like that too. You know, chamber's clear, and you can see the bolt face down in there, that's clear. Your magazine well's empty, so we're good to go. All right, so since I'm filming, you know, do this kind of quick field strip or partial field strip, I'm gonna press down on the table like this, but you can just press down on the table with your barrel, you know, with the muzzle there. No big deal, but it does look weird when I do it like this. So press down on the buffer, all right? And you can see I got the buttstock pad here. Still get some questions about that, so this will clear it up as well. So you press down the buffer, pin comes right out. I know all you guys know how to do this now. And look at me, at a practice here, at a practice Charlie. So, but I am filming. All right, give me an alibi. Give me a break. All right, so buttstock pin, set that aside. Now the buttstock and the buffer. So we got the RDL on there, buttstock pad. How do you get it off when you've got the buttstock pad on there? Yep, that's it. I get it, and obviously you could get this out as well, but it's not needed. I mean, you can, you know, pry it out. It's just a matter of kind of being a pain in the neck. You're kind of just wasting effort there, but it's pretty simple and straightforward. I mean, it's plastic too, so. All right, there we go, charging handle. So before we actually got to this new integrated locking pin, and something that made me a little nervous was, you know, seeing in the forum and Facebook group, some guys were like, well, you know, I hate using that pin, so I'm just not going to install it. I'm just going to throw charging handle in there. But then you are faced with the dilemma of this possibly falling out. Remember what we said about moving away from the OEM design and increasing the thickness, the diameter of the shaft, so that you have the most strength possible. Well, that recoil spring isn't going to locate on that little tiny recess. It's just not designed for it, and it won't work. So what could happen if you're not running a pin is your charging handle could fall out. And if you're shooting and moving, running a course, you lose your charging handle, it's just not good. So I'm happy that we've got this. It's gonna keep everybody on the same page and make sure everybody's set up for success. So I just wanted to clear that up, you know, that it is important if you're using, you know, the MCarbo aftermarket charging handles to have a pin that locks it all in place so you don't lose it when you're running the course. All right, good. So now we just got to get the bolt out. All right, you can just slide it out. We want to get that recoil spring out of there. So, you know, whatever you want to do, there's a million methods there. All right, so we got a recoil spring. Now, this is similar to, if you saw that video on the AK-47, you know, we got an extra power recoil spring. Very similar design where you've got this wire captured guide rod in here. All right, and you've got these little tabs on either end. They're exactly the same, so just pick an end that you want to take apart, and we're going to attack it that way. I'm just going to pick this end, doesn't matter. Grab my little block that we modified just a minute ago, stick in your recoil spring, and the idea here is that we're going to compress it and we're going to stick in that little tiny Allen key that's included with the pin. And we want to capture it right in here under that loop. So you can see there's two pieces of wire here that are connected in the center, all right? And so what we want to do is compress this recoil spring down and then go through the coils in that spring, get this Allen key to locate right there in that loop on the top, and it'll hold it all in place under tension. So I'm gonna do it, and I'll do it a couple times because this is a crappy view, you know, tabletop view like this. Don't beat me up on my camera skills, I'm trying. Have it braced like this, you're gonna push down, and then you're gonna slide this thing through. Now, and you're gonna do this a couple times because I highly recommend you practice, because the first time you do it, you're not gonna push it down far enough, I guarantee it. I mean, that's how we all did it here. Because you're gonna get something like this, where you're like, sort of compressed, but not really. All right, but you can see what the intention is right here. So we've got good tension here, we've compressed it. You know, these coils are much tighter and compressed here, these are loose. So it's fairly decent. You could sort of make this happen right here, but I'm telling you, you're gonna set yourself up for some frustration and a lot of F-bombs. So I don't want you throwing F-bombs at me right now. I can't hear you. So, all right, what we're gonna do is compress it, and we want to make sure we really put some good MAN on it, all right? And that's why I said, if you know, older guy, arthritis, I mean, I'm heading that direction too. So if it was me, I was old guy arthritis, you know, if I had a grandkid, you know, and he was strong enough to do it, I might be like, hey, grandson, come over here and give me a hand. All right, or find a buddy or something. In worst case, you can send them into us and we'll do them. And like I said, we'll come up with a price. You just, you know, call the tech department and we'll figure it out. But this is very doable if you practice it a couple times. And, you know, you got guys in the forum too that'll probably more than happily help you out. So if you want to mail it to them, they do it, send it back to you. And I love that about the Brotherhood, man. Everybody's really just a good group of great people there. You know, we got just a ton of awesome guys that are willing to help each other out. And I've seen it in the forum a number of times. So compress, all right, as much as you can. And you can see that I'm getting some good space right there. So if I could hold it in place long enough, and it may be slipping in your hands, but you can kind of take that Allen key, get you a couple more coils. So you're pushing it down and sliding it through. And then once you get a good spot, you push that baby all the way through. I mean, that's why we include this Allen key. You know, you don't have to destroy any of your own tools. I mean, you got this for free in the kit, so I'd say you're more than welcome to destroy it. So at this point, we've captured a good amount of coils here. You can see how tightly compressed they are together. It's a little misleading right here. I mean, it looks like you're not quite ready, you know, because it's still sort of touching the top here. Some of you guys are gonna be able to muscle this real easy, compress it all the way, and you'll probably not even have any of the coils touching this end cap here, which is awesome. You're ready to go. So if you're like me right here, you know, good compression down here, and it's pretty loose up here, the next thing you want to do is to see, you know, how hard you got to press down to get that clearance, because you're going to need about that for clearance right there. So you take your toolless integrated locking pin, you can almost size it up. You know, if that's difficult to compress still, because that's about what you're going to need for clearance, you may want to consider compressing it again and running that Allen key through to hold your place. All right, and let me give you a good up close view here. You can see how I've got that Allen key through the loop there, all right, that bottom loop that I'm compressing, and the rest of this is all loose, easy, ready to go. So from here, I'll show you the next little detail that's part of this. So I've decided I got enough compression, I'm good to go, or at least I'm gonna try it. Compress this top portion, and what we'll do is we're gonna stick in, you know, whether it be, you know, 1/16 punch, 3/32 punch, or a little micro tip flathead like this, stick it in, all right? And I'm gonna use it to kind of help me compress a little further, like this. And see that? That's what we want. That is the next little trick right there, because if you fight it when it's like this, when it's located and it's still pointing vertical straight up, it's gonna be difficult. You're not gonna be able to really maneuver these, you know, wire guide rods. But if you just kick it over to the side like that, all day long, you can easily separate them just like this with one little rotation, and there it is. Actually fell right off. So that's the trick. And that took a little time to figure that out. And yeah, I practiced a couple times. I had one guy get all ticked off in one of the installation videos. He's like, man, it looked like he had done this before. Like, yeah, dude. I'd get eaten alive on YouTube. The integrated locking pin, it's got the same kind of features on the back as the OEM. So same kind of lockup features. I mean, you know, nothing really crazy here. All right, so now we're just gonna take our micro tip, we're gonna insert it like 3 coils down. That's about all you need. And you're gonna use that to compress the remainder of clearance you need. All right, and that's why I was saying you wanna make sure it's not too difficult to compress, because we're also gonna compress it, and while we're doing that, rotate it. So when you rotate it, you can see how it'll split those 2 wires right there on that wire guide rod. So you're compressing it and you rotate it, you know, as everything's captured in the bench block here, and you got a good tight grip on it. Now, integrated locking pin, you just throw it on there. Does not matter which direction, just get it in the hole. So now we're gonna go the opposite direction. So initially we rotated clockwise to get it to spread. Now we're gonna go counterclockwise, or opposite direction. I like to keep it as simple as possible, and it doesn't matter if you get it flipped this way or if you get it flipped the other way. It does not matter. All we're trying to do is get these 2 pieces of wire to line back up. So we went clockwise initially like that, and now we're going to go counterclockwise without letting it pop off. Just like that. And then you're golden at this point. I mean, you could let it snap like that, but I'd recommend just, if it's lined up like this, just go ahead and rotate it. All right, pull it out, and you're good. Now you just want to do a quick check, all right? So you want to make sure it's nice and loose in there. Like it should move around just like the other one did. So it may kind of still be bound or caught weird. Okay, that's good. All right, you don't want to like, rip it off, but you want to make sure that it's not just halfway closed. Those two pieces of wire need to snap back together and close. So that was super slow, methodical. Let's speed it up. So let's go through it one more time. So I'm going to start over. And when you're done, you've got it on there. Push the two ends together and push down on the table. It'll slide right out. And you're ready to go ahead and throw it back in. But because I like torturing myself, I'm going to do this one more time. Just a little faster. So you're just going to compress it, decent amount. It's like you pay early or pay later. It's, whatever you choose. And if you got it in an angle like that, it's not the end of the world either. You just want to get it captured. So if you're in a hurry, by all means, you're not going to hurt anything. The springs are pretty resistant to this kind of stuff. So I'm pushing that Allen key a good ways in there. I don't want it popping out. It'll be a pain in the neck. Just don't do it. Just make sure you got it captured good. And then I push down, and then a couple coils down, and then I'm going to rotate one way, rotate the opposite at the end. So I'm going to go counterclockwise while pushing down. But after I let it drop, remember, counterclockwise, or rotate it one way and rotate it the opposite. All right, so now I got it off. Good. Now I'm going to put it back on. I just want to make sure those legs are wide open. And drop this little baby on. Does not matter which way you go. Just get it on there like that. And now we're going to rotate those legs back so they can close on each other. All right. I know, it's weird. So then it's snapped back together, and now I can just rotate it up, make sure those two little legs are in that channel. Feels good. Still like it's seated. It's not like it's partially seated or whatever. Done. Pull it out, compress it together, and push down on the table to get your Allen key out of there. There we go. Integrated toolless locking pin installed on the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 factory guide rod. Long overdue solution. Love this. All right, so now that we got the 416 stainless steel toolless integrated locking pin captured on the factory guide rod, our life is about to get so much better going forward when using the M-Carbo charging handles. Really excited about this. So it's going to work like this. Inside the bolt, we'll insert the charging handle. Now you still obviously have to make sure you have the right offset. The way it's designed is that this portion will be visible inside the bolt, and this is going to give you the proper offset on the top edge of the bolt and the bottom. So we didn't want to make it to where it was obviously riding on the bolt tube. So there's a lot that's going on there. So we still have to make sure, we don't insert it all the way. It's, most of the way. You're basically centering this up on the bolt inside the receiver tube, not just jamming this into the receiver tube all the way and hoping that it fits. So it does help if you're new to this to look down in there, kind of get a feel for what is that offset that you're going to have to repeat, time and again when you field strip. And then we drop in our recoil spring and it'll locate right in there like that, which is nice. There's not going to be a lot of up and down play. It's going to locate nice and tight right in that hole like that. So pretty simple and easy. The initial point that I was making about guys that were choosing not to install the pin because of the headache involved, and I hear you, I'm with you. So the factory piece that came with the recoil spring, it would locate like this, and you could easily turn it. You can almost easily just pull it right out. It's just not enough tension to really capture and hold it. It's going to be that time that you least expected it would fall out. So we definitely want to use the integrated locking pin. Toolless, it's going to be easy. Love this. So glad we finally have it. Now let's put it back in the sub. All right, so now it's just a matter of putting the sub back together. So our bolts and everything's still in there. And you know, there's plenty of videos showing how to do all of that. If this is the first time, this is the first part you bought for your sub, which many of you guys, this is like the 15th or 20th. And we've come a long way with it, so that's awesome. So what we're gonna do is, obviously this feature is gonna be facing the back, right, towards the buttstock. So we're gonna drop it right in to that hole there on the bolt, slide it back, and then, you know, you should be able to just throw it right in, but remember I was saying there's offset, so we wanted to make sure that the charging handle wasn't just rubbing on the bolt tube, so it's gonna be down just a hair, all right? And like I said, if you're new to it, you know, you could shine your flashlight down there, get an idea of what that offset is, but hopefully this isn't my first time, so I got a feel for it. I have a general idea of what that offset is. I'm gonna have this tip pointing towards the top of the bolt tube here, slide it right in, get it inside that bolt, and we're gonna push all the way down, and you should feel it. So you can rotate your charging handle until you feel it slip and drop right in. And I just felt it drop right in, try to pull it out, try to kind of turn it a little bit, and it'll be under the most tension and obviously the most lockup once it's completely back together. So really confident that it's all back in there. Now I'm gonna slide the buttstock right over the bolt tube, and I'm gonna slide in that pin once I push the buffer forward, and that's it. Pretty simple, straightforward. You know, put the pin on the back side and press down on the table, line up that buffer, and away we go. There we are. So we're all set now. So we'll do a quick little function check, make sure everything's good to go. You know, we're gonna try to rotate it, see if we can pop it out of place, pull it out, nothing. All right, man, look at that. Well, safe, good, fire, nice, reset, beautiful, awesome. So that'll be much easier going forward. Well, there you have it, guys. Pretty simple, straightforward installation process for the new Kel-Tec Sub 2000 integrated toolless locking pin. So finally, we've got it. We've got a locking pin that will directly attach to the recoil spring on your Kel-Tec Sub 2000. Love what we're doing here. You guys, hands down, came up with this one. So thank you. You know, and that's what's so great about the MCarbo Brotherhood, the community. So if you're not in the forum, forum.mcarbo.com. We also got the Facebook group, the private MCarbo Facebook group, which is great too. So I'm bouncing between both all the time. It's a great resource if you're new to shooting or whatever, or maybe you just bought a sub and you're like, what do I need? Just ask those guys. So I love it. We're also looking at doing some other stuff. So excited to kind of dive into another platform. You know, we did a lot of stuff for the PMR 30 recently. Also looking at the Strybog, possibly a Strybog M series. So eager to hear what you guys think about that. Really happy to finally have the integrated toolless locking pin for all MCarbo aftermarket charging handles. From the day this video airs going forward, all charging handles you pick up from us are gonna have this new integrated locking pin. It's just better, makes more sense. We're gonna sell them separately, do an initial promotion for everybody that's got the MCarbo aftermarket charging handles. Obviously, if you've got one of the old ones that looks like the OEM lockup feature, if that baby breaks, you know, we're gonna get you another one, lifetime guarantee. So hint, hint, if you just don't want it anymore, break that thing and we'll get you another one. You gotta have the new style with the locking pin for it to work. Glad we have it. I threw my old locking pin away immediately after I put this one on and put it in my sub. Thank you, MCarbo Brotherhood. You guys nailed it. Good job. Appreciate you guys. And everything is, you know, run here based on demand. So the more requests we have for items, the more focus we're gonna have on making that solution. So if everybody is united front, kind of like with this optic mount, you know, I was hoping you guys would forget over the course of 3 years in the making right here, but you didn't. Persistence pays off, and we eventually made it happen. So really excited. Thank you guys, so much better. And, you know, totally open to any other input you guys have on any of the other parts we've got for the sub, or new parts we could do for the Strybog or whatever. So excited all the way around. From the day this video airs going forward, all charging handles for the Sub 2000 and the M series will have the integrated locking pin. Thank you guys. As always, happy shooting.